Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the reviews. Up first, we have Shooter's Lube. Heard a lot about this on the internet. Have the solvent and then the oil that goes with it. Great reviews. Wondering how well it's going to work. I've got a great little project to run on it. I got a little 22 plinkster that I like to use. It has a special Mauska tool that is not currently on the weapon, the airsoft pistol. But that Mauska tool tends to make things a little bit more dirty. So, show clear, magazine, weapon's empty. Let's do the teardown procedure. Weapon's in half. This is the kind of nastiness I'm talking about. So the barrel itself doesn't tend to get real grody, but inside there, especially in the action area, the pistol group, the bolt, it tends to stay a little bit dirty. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see down there, probably not at all, but anyway, barrel itself's not atrocious. Let's look at this piece right here. So all of the dirt that you're seeing down in there, hammer area, all of that's approximately 150 rounds. It hasn't been a ton of shooting through the gun, but that's what it is. So we've got a universal kit that I've had for years, as well as just some regular cleaning parts and pieces. So let's get to it. Set the bolt up. Let's focus our attention on the dirtiest of the dirty here. And so let's run a little bit of Shooter's Lube down in there. Take the safety off. All right, so as opposed to a few other solvents that we've been using here lately, that's actually starting to break down the carbon and the nasty deposits a hell of a lot faster than what the other stuff's been doing. We'll use a few little pads to knock it down a little bit. And I've got a couple of other pieces to get some other nastiness out of it in just a second. Look at that. Man, this stuff's pretty good. I went through a full clean on this airsoft pistol before I ran, like I said, about 150, maybe 200 rounds through it several weeks ago. It hasn't been that long. It's been about a week. But as I stated before, our special Mauska tool does cause it to gum up a little bit faster. And I mean, we're just shooting target loads, so it's not the greatest ammo in the world. It's not terrible stuff, but it's not the greatest either. We're gonna go ahead and drop the hammer. All of the parts that you see on this weapon are pretty much tandem cross parts and pieces. This gun comes with a mag drop safety. There is a delete in there for that. The trigger is the flat face trigger from Tandem Cross. The grips, obviously, same. The ledges, so the rear thumb ledge, and then the front thumb ledge is from Stripling, but nonetheless, it's all the parts that I've obtained through Tandem Cross, and they've been really good. The parts that I put on here have been top quality. No issues whatsoever. Had a small issue with some shipping concerns, I guess I'll say. I reached out to Tandem Cross and they were right on it. So great company to work with. They kind of have everything in house, and they tell you what's going on. They're usually pretty much dead on. Same thing with Shooter Lube, folks. Obviously, we know that the Texas went to hell in a handbasket for a week or so. This stuff comes somewhere out of the Midwest. Hell, it may even be Texas. But it shipped, and it was supposed to be here on the 22nd. It just showed up yesterday. But again, it's not anybody's fault. Shit just happens. So, honestly, I swear, this stuff is amazing. It's pulling out stuff that, hell, I wouldn't have gotten out before. I had to take this thing all the way apart to get the majority of this stuff out last time. And it's just been nastiness in there. Because, again, our special Mouska tool causes all this carbon buildup. Really, with no matter what airsoft rounds we're using. Most of this is out already. We're going to get up in here, get up in the hammer, trigger bar. We're going to get all the stuff off of here. And this stuff's awesome. I really need to pull it back apart and go all the way down, get all the stuff out of the side of the trigger bar and all that in through there, but I just don't have the time for it right now, and I'm not going to bore you folks with it either. I will say this, we're going to try to jump down in here and get in this little tight area and see if we can pull some of that crud out there. Yeah, we did a good job there. All right, cool. So again, relatively clean across, and that's just from running a couple of shots straight down in it. I think we do have the oil over here too, so we'll use some of that here in just a second. Let me see if I can pull some of this excess out. Good stuff. And let's drop down to the pull some of that nastiness out of here. Let's run over to the actual bolt assembly. All right. Shooter Lube has a couple of these mats too. I got a couple of these from them. Figured while they were sending that stuff out, to get a few of these as well, see how they work. Seemingly work relatively well. Let's run the bolt. Again, I could pull all this apart. I just don't have the time for it, nor do you folks really. Would it even matter if I did? It's just going to take some extra time to do, so we'll pull it apart later. But for the original, just quick clean, I guess what we'll call it. Let's just see what we can get with just using a little bit of original cleaner. Oh yeah. So I can tell you that on the bolt, again, because our super special Mouska tool causes all of this extra carbon buildup, it does get a little dirty on the bolt itself, and also when it's up in there, it will, if we're shooting a ton without pulling apart to clean, it will it'll give you a gritty feeling when you're shooting. So you'll shoot several hundred rounds of airsoft ammunition, and you'll get a good grit feeling in your action. You know, at that point in time, you probably should stop and pull it apart and just see what's going on. Again, just facing right here some of the extra nasty areas. All right. And at some point, I'll just pull this whole thing apart again and just go through it. We're going to put a little bit of extra oil on it now that we're using the Shooter's Lube oil. Maybe we'll get a little bit extra out of it. Hoping for it. All right. So the inside. Oops. Let's jump this up here. Okay. Inside the action there, or where the action happens, a little bit dirty too. So, a couple of magic squirts. Bottom side of our optic. May have gotten a little bit of it there, but hey, who cares? Again, just initial wiping. Not gonna go truly in depth with this stuff for the first clean. I'll take it and run it, and once I run it a little while, we'll use the oil. We'll see if that does anything good for us. Pulling all of that out. All the inside right here. So much easier than the other stuff that I've been using. I will say it's a miracle product, but man, it's pretty good. Again, rolling on the bottom side of this optic. Did not mean to get it on there, but it's there, so we'll get it off. Let's run down through here. Yeah. Yes. Run down with... Boy, I don't know if you guys would be able to see that or not. That's down in there. There was a couple of little chunky boys down there. Yeah. Pretty good. What I need to do is pull this whole thing apart. Pull the entire barrel out with a mid assembly and just let it fall, and then go through it with a fine tooth comb, and I probably will do that. But again, like I said, for right now, for what we're doing, not in the cards, but next time we'll pull it apart and then go all the way down. We'll take the optic off, take the rail off, take the barrel out, and get it good and clean. So for that, for what it is, not terrible. All right, there we go. Okay. The barrel was already clean. I already ran through on that, but the end of our thread right here got a little dirty. Let's see if we can handle that real quick. Maybe give it a little bit of time to come off, or chill out. Put that back on for now. Because as I said, we do have a special mouse tool that goes on the end of this one. And let's throw down a little bit of oil. There we go. We got all this crap over here. So this is my wife's office, I guess. You see her, whatever the hell that thing is, Cricut circuit. That's not what it is. Silhouette. Got all over vinyl behind me. It's quiet. It gets me away from the 3-year-old, so we're here. All right. Special little adapter for the oil. Gonna be able to get me in tight spots. Need to run just a little bit of bead around this area right here. All right. Put on the Traveler. Gotcha. There we go. All right. Drop a little bit down this side as well. Okay. There we go. A little bit in the trigger and hammer area as well. That hammer has to come back in order for us to be able to get the airsoft pistol back together. Let's get right up in here on this trigger group. There we go. Right over here on this hammer. All right. Move a little bit with that action. All right, there we go. Jeez Louise. Okie dokie. All right. Absolutely love it. It's a hell of a lot better than what it was before. A little pull. There we go. Never dry fire your airsoft pistols unless you're me. All right. There it is. For what it is, guys, for the price, can't much beat it. Shooter Lube. Pretty damn good stuff.